Celebrate 25 years of great TV here on Channel 13, public television for North Texas.
Every morning on my way to work, I used to watch the passing show from a safe distance. It made me ponder the paradox of India's thought. The world is fundamentally unreal. Truth is at the back of things. But it is one thing to be an armchair philosopher and quite another to experience these truths for yourself. Now that I have some time at my disposal, I am going on a quest for that experience.
For 35 years, E.R. Sethuram has worked as a journalist and newspaper editor in Bangalore, South India. He's recently retired, but he often returns to the Deccan Herald as a consultant and to visit old friends.
All my life, I suppose, I've been a seeker for some kind of objective truth. But if there is one thing I have learned from 35 years of journalism, it's that no two men will report a single event in the same way. All truth of this world is only relatively real. But now at 64, I feel the need to seek for a different kind of truth, which is more abiding, more real.
For Sethuram, the problem of retirement isn't keeping busy. It's a time for the most difficult decision of his life.
How are you? I didn't see you for a long time. What is old age really for? I mean, is it a time just to ruminate on the past? Or can it be something more challenging? The start of something.
So, say goodbye to you for a moment.
Oh, where exactly are you going?
I mean, some places, pilgrimage.
Yeah. Are you going to Sringeri?
Oh, Sringeri, sure.
Perhaps you in the West look at it differently. You see old age as an ending. But traditionally in India, the last stage of life is seen as a new beginning. A time to renounce the world you have known with all its values and attachments and seek for something different.
Indian society traditionally recognizes 4 stages of life. An Orthodox Hindu man passes through the stages of youth, householder, and then a time of seclusion in preparation for the 4th stage, becoming a sannyasi. Sannyasa means to abandon. The sannyasi leaves behind all wealth, personal comforts, and above all his family. His only possessions are his robes, staff, water pot, and begging bowl. The purpose of begging is to humble one's pride. The logic is that if you're nobody, you're closer to God. People humble themselves before a sannyasin because they feel it brings them closer to God themselves. In the past, it was common practice for a man to take sannyas. Today, only a minority even consider taking it. The aim of sannyas is to free the individual from duties so that he can devote all his time to the preparation for mystical experience.
I don't know whether I will eventually have the conviction to become a sannyasi. It seems very remote, but I feel I must discover more about it to see whether it's right for me. But of course, there is a conflict between my own spiritual needs and the needs of my family. It probably seems to you the whole idea is very selfish and irresponsible to abandon one's family. We have always been very close to each other. Now that I'm about to set off, it's not surprising they are very anxious and very hostile. అందుకోసం అది చెప్దాము అనుకోండి. తీసుకొని ఉంటేలే యోచన చేస్తా, తీసుకుంటామా, తీసుకుంటే మంచిదా, మాలో అంతా తీసుకుంటారు మా తాతగారు ముత్తాతగారు కాలంలో. అదే కదా ముఖ్యమైనది, అంతిమైనది జీవ సాక్షాత్కారం. భగవంతుడి దగ్గర పరమాత్మని అంతా చేసినానే, బాకీ అంత జవాబారి మీరు ఇచ్చినానే అని యోచన చేస్తున్నా.
ఇది ఎన్నాళ్ళుగా ఇది యోచన చేస్తున్నారు? చెప్పండి మీకు ఇది
సన్యాసులకు వాళ్ళకు
అడిగి యోచన చేయాలని ఉన్నామంతే.
మీరు పెండ్లే చేసుకోవాలి
అయిపోయినా ఇప్పుడు. I say I am not running away from things. I am in fact getting involved. Yeah, I sounding nonsense in that.
Just expressing how it is nothing more.
Not that I am jumping into Ganges or Himalayas immediately. This thought is in our tradition.
ఎవరు అడిగినా మీరు చేసేది సరి అని ఎవరు ఒప్పేలేదు.
Not you, I suppose. Okay?
Not the question is convincing me, but what you're doing is just not all right. That's what I feel.
That's very good. If I find out that it's not all right, I will search. No votes here. I know.
We are all against your idea.
I knew that even discussing the idea of sannyas would lead to many emotional problems. Apart from that, there are legal implications too. Legally, what would happen to my family and all my possessions? My relative, S.L. Simha, is an eminent lawyer. I have arranged to meet him at the Bangalore Club, one of the most powerful reminders of the British Raj.
Recently, a retired deputy secretary, after having taken sannyas, he tried to lay claim to his property. There was a dispute, and the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, finding that all the ceremonies necessary had been performed, held that he was a sannyas and that he had lost all his right, and the property had descended on his sons, and the sons were allowed to take the property.
It can't be revoked.
It can't be. It's in an irreversible process. The consequences of death all ensue. Property passes on to your heirs, and you lose all right to inherit from your former family. And any property that you might acquire subsequent to taking sannyas passes on not to your heirs in the former family, but to your brother sannyas, if there are any. Otherwise, it goes to the state by his chief. So it's a virtual cutting away from your former family and starting a new life. It's as if you are reborn.
Most important Hindu philosophical traditions, called Advaita, which means unity. It's said that Shankara established the monastery in this spot because he saw here an auspicious sight: a frog resting in the shade of a hooded cobra, its natural enemy. In the Indian tradition, crossing a river has always been a powerful symbol of crossing from this world to the next. The road
When we come in the presence of a great teacher like the Shankaracharya, the custom is to prostrate. You know, it's not a kind of idol worship. We don't think he's God or anything like that. It's a form of respect towards someone we feel is charged with spiritual power.
అది వివేకం నుండి రాలేదు, కష్టం చేత వచ్చింది. ఆ కష్టం చేత వచ్చినటువంటి వైరాగ్యం అనేది కష్టం ఎక్కడ కొంచెం దూరం పోతే అది దూరం పోతుంది.
Hinduism is passing experiences, nothing more, nothing less. He then slows down the fluctuations of the mind by concentrating on an image or concept. The goal is to experience the permanent awareness behind the waking and dreaming states, called Atma, or pure consciousness.